You're listening to episode 63 of Fresh Floppies.
Yay!
Now I gotta redo it. It's gotta be clean.
Oh, shit. You're listening to Fresh Floppies, where we be flopping them fresh. I'm JD, and
That's
with
gross.
me is Noel.
You don't have to be crude.
You're the only one being gross.
You're flopping them fresh?
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's something innocuous like deli meats, it's still gross. Like fresh deli meats.
Deli meats are never innocuous.
Put that on a shirt. Put that on a shirt.
Where we talk about some of the books that are coming out today, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day, without spoilers, so that you can go into your local comic shop well armed with some information about what you may or may not be wanting to pick up.
So when we arm ourselves, it is with knowledge.
That's right.
Nothing else.
And Kandorian swords.
It's just knowledge.
Absolute Power number 2 from DC Comics. This is 2 of a 4-part series.
It's like 40-part series. No,
four
it's 4
main issues.
Actually 5.
Oh shit, is it 5? Whoops.
Right? They're doing that same thing they did with Night Terrors, where it's a 4-issue mini. Don't worry about it. But there's a opening one shot. There's an alpha issue. There's a like.
No. Oh, there was an alpha.
Yeah,
Shit,
dude.
You're right. Damn
yeah,
it.
it's really
Damn it,
like
you're right.
it's really like 6. They just make it seem like 4.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dan Mora and Mark Waid.
Masters.
Yeah.
Masters of their trade.
Not infallible. We'll find out.
Oh yeah. What did you think of this issue?
It was great.
Yeah, this is really fun.
Yeah. There's a really good Nightwing bit in here. I like that the Titans are still sort of at the forefront. Because the JLA is kind of out of practice.
Yeah, people give you know what I was gonna say? People give Mark Waid crap. People that are stupid give Mark Waid crap. He is one of the most. Not only is he like just on the Mount Rushmore of comics, he's also one of the most thoughtful writers. So if he makes a choice or does something with a character or mentions a character's status quo, I don't question it.
Yeah.
Because
he knows what's up.
I have forgot, like, he knows, how does the saying go? Like, he's forgotten more than I've ever known about most of these characters.
Yes.
So when he's just like, and this person knows how to do this, I'm like, yeah, they must. They probably do, because he doesn't pull that shit out of nowhere. It's usually based off of just like some sort of minutia from 48,000 years ago that he remembers and he's referencing. Yeah, him and Grant Morrison are the two that are just like, I mean, I believe them.
Yeah, I can't argue with you.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, you know what's up.
So there's a couple things, like, to that point, though, he fully recognizes and remembers that the Titans are the head of this kind of universe right now.
Yeah.
They're the premier team. They make mention of, some infighting and, like, why did we even disband the Justice League? They're for things like this. Like, this book is it's accessible, but it's also pretty damn rooted in current continuity, which is really nice.
For sure.
Like, a lot of times, these big events will, for the purposes of the story, will forget or
make it more evergreen.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I enjoy that this is very much set in place.
Same thing with, speaking of Grant Morrison, his JLA, where it had, like, Blue Superman.
Just can't, like, after issue, like, 6, it's just like, it's Blue Superman. Why?
Don't worry about it. But yeah, this series is a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. And we get some answers that I was looking for, re a certain green hero. So I'm excited about that. This is baller.
There's a death?
Yeah, sure.
There's a death and a sub-death?
Yeah.
Before the mic started running, so I am Dan Mora's biggest fan.
Yeah.
I have been on this guy's.
The Dan Mora bitches.
I've been a Dan Mora bitch since Power Rangers. There is a sequence. This is the first time I've ever read in hundreds of issues of Dan Mora work that I've ever read where I was confused about one action sequence.
Yeah.
And it's not that it destroyed the story and that I didn't know what happened because of it. I'm just not used to it with his work.
Yeah.
So I was like, I really focused on it
must have
way
missed something.
I focused on it way too much.
Yeah.
But there's an action sequence in here that is really messy, seems to skip a couple beats, and even both of us didn't fully grasp what happened in the scene and how big it is because it was done so quickly and small.
You and I both sat here looking page for page going, what is that? What is happening?
What just blew up?
Yeah.
Huh? Wait, they're all dead?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it was something.
They yada-yada'd a couple of things.
They yada-yada'd a couple of things, and maybe that's the function of the length of the book. I don't know, but he puts a lot of work into this, and it's still great.
Good-looking book.
Yeah, it's still, I think it's still fresh AF.
Oh, fresh AF.
Yeah. This series is really fun. Speaking of another new series that came out this week, We're still in the ashes. We're in the ashes, and we're coming from the ashes. From the ashes into a new beginning.
Yes.
From the ashes, a new beginning. The Uncanny X-Men #1, Legacy 701, written by Gail Simone with art by David Marquez and Matt Wilson.
Matt Wilson.
Matt Wilson! This is a book.
Nah, man. So you and I have been talking about the X books that have been dropping out, and I think you liked X-Men more than I did.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us really cared about Phoenix. X-Force, we were both like, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first one where I go, oh, here we go. Oh, I am enjoying this. This is great. There is such wonderful character work in this, and I am a sucker for silly, phonetically worded accents. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
like Chris Claremont
that's...
talking about doing Nightwing and Tovarish for Colossus and stuff. So we get a lot of Rogue in here.
Wait, you like that, but you hate Thor.
It's overdone in Thor.
How is it not overdone with Rogue?
Because Thor is the main character.
Oh, that's
fair. All you get is Thor speak, and even when it's like he's talking in his head, Thor speak.
There are 4 main characters in this book.
Yeah.
3 of them have strong accents.
Different ones. They're all different.
But look, I don't disagree with you. I'm trying to point out some sort of hypocrisy.
And also he
inconsistency.
He says stuff nobody says. Like these are just accents.
Yeah,
you know I mean? Verily, like just not good enough.
I mean, some people say that. I thought that this would be a different conversation.
Oh, tell me more.
I thought that you would also be incredibly bored by this, and I would have to kind of convince you into, no, this is what I wanted from the X-Men, these character books, relationship books, and then the conflict is just something that goes in the back. So every other X book so far has been more concerned, it seems, with establishing status quo and stakes. And then the characters are kind of secondary. That is nothing wrong with that. It's just not necessarily something that immediately pulls me in. This is, I don't even give a shit what the stakes are. I am 4 main characters that are mildly broken after a huge ordeal trying to figure out what's next. Now, all of these characters could have gone on their own, and a lot of them did, but their histories and friendships are incredibly deeply rooted. So even when one thing kind of happens, the only person you can call is this person. The only person that would know is this other person. Like, they are inseparable from each other, and this book doesn't really shy away from that, even though they're not all in this. This A+. And I often forget, and it's to my detriment, how fucking amazing David Marquez's art is.
He's so good.
His facial acting is Oscar worthy. Like, most of this book could be dialogueless, and it is absolutely masterful. This is an instance where I'm a little worried what the schedule will be and how long he'll be on the book. Because I think he could do like a monthly for 6, and then he's got to be out for a bit.
I feel like he did Ultimate Spider-Man for quite a while, didn't he? Did he switch out? When he first, that's when I first got
him and Sarah Pacelli, like
was it?
Didn't him and Sarah Pacelli? There was the Miles era.
Yeah.
So him and Sarah Pacelli went back and forth.
Oh, were they?
And then
I
Marquez.
thought it was Pacelli, and then Marquez took over because he did a pretty good Pacelli.
But he immediately left to do Civil War II with Bendis, and that was consistently late. David Marquez drew Civil War II.
No, I know. Civil War II was nowhere near the time frame of his original.
It was within like 2 years, right? Sarah Pacelli for like 12 issues. He did a couple, and then they started on the Civil War II.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
We'll have to look. I thought that they were closer together because the
I feel
main
like
stuff.
Miles had been around in the Marvel 616 for quite a
you're
while
right.
before Civil War II.
Yeah, but all that early Miles shit had nothing to do with 616 until much later. So I'm condensing a lot.
No,
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, this book is awesome.
And this was wonderful. I have no idea who this guy is, but I love him.
Yeah.
Big chomp chomp. I love that dude. Yeah, man. If you are sort of on the fence about the X-Men and where they are right now, I would say jump on Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone. There's even little things like talking about how long they've known each other and how they're only, they rely on each other. There's like cute little nicknames in here.
Well, also too, there's I also kind of dig so Rogue and Gambit are married.
Yeah.
but they've all known each other so long that Wolverine gets away with like flirty shit, and I think it's hilarious. And Gambit's just like, man, she is hot. I know. Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, it's just really fun, kind of. It's just fun. This is a really fun book. Now, I still enjoyed X-Men #1. It's like a mechanical book versus this being more of a heart book. Like if we were gonna do, I wonder. I'm very interested in seeing what Exceptional X-Men's like, because as of right now, X-Men is the head, Uncanny is the heart, and everything else is just kind of like side stories so far. Yeah, limbs. Yeah.
This is why when people ask Remy, my sexuality is 100% X-Men. Better turn away, Logan, or don't. Your call.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love this book. Fresh AF.
Fresh AF. Yeah.
Yeah. I was surprised at how good this was.
It might have just scanning through all the stuff that came out this week. It might have been my pick of the week. Like the most enjoyable thing I read this week. Yeah.
It's up there with another one that I really liked. We'll get to later. Speaking of From the Ashes and a New Beginning, I was surprised to see Avengers had that title up on the.
Oh, there's a reason.
Number 17, Avengers, Legacy 783 by McKay and Valerio Schiti. This was okay. I read the first 6 issues of Jed McKay's
The
Avengers, and then I read Blood Hunt. That's kind of all the Jed McKay Avengers I got. So jumping onto here was very easy. There was no heavy lifting whatsoever to do, and it's all just fallout from Blood Hunt and whether or not the team thinks they failed. And I love this inward looking, this introspection of all the members of the team. And then we get a new member, which I was also very excited to see.
Yeah.
This was great.
I think we can spoil it because it's the cover of the book.
It's the cover. Yeah.
Storm is asked to join the book.
Yeah.
Which kind of gives it that X-Men feel. The reasoning and the conversation as to why they ask her to join, or one person asked her to join, is such a good conversation. And it's really, really emotionally intelligent and well thought out. Like, they've done this before in comics where, like, what was it, the Unity Squad, the Uncanny Avengers, and blah, 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 blah. This feels a little bit different in so much as it's not prestige for purpose's sake. It's the strength of the organization needs to have diversity. Yeah. And I think that's really effing cool.
It ties in maybe the failure of both the Blood Hunt and also the failure of the Krakoa era.
Is this segmentation, like we represent this.
Yeah.
And I think that was so cool. This is so I've been reading this book since Jump. The first 2 arcs were honestly not unlike the first issue of X-Men, where it's a lot of like heady table setting, big action. That's not for everybody, but I thought it was interesting. Like Jed McKay makes up so many weird names for things, like the Twilight Council and the Ashen Combine and the Impossible City, and they have like things that they're the test or tribulation events that Kang warned them of, and
from Timeless.
It's such high sci-fi fooey gooey. It's stupid.
It is.
But everyone in this book is so well captured, and it's an earnest book. I'm loving the Avengers, man. This is really fun.
I want to catch up.
This is a really fun run. And books like this and Doctor Strange, which we'll talk about in a little bit, are why I give Jed McKay a lot of rope. Like maybe I didn't love that first issue of X-Men. The dude's output usually crushes, so I'm gonna always kind of give it a shot, even if it doesn't seem like it's for me.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Also,
Fresh AF.
3 in a row.
We're fraffing.
Favorite book of the week you were talking about for Uncanny X-Men. I was surprised by Stephanie Phillips and Goran Suzuka's Red Before Black from Boom Studios. This is issue number 1, and this is just a awesome crime story. Immediately sucked in. There was nice twists and turns in it. Good character work. Good thrilling sequences. What did you think?
I loved it. It was wonderful. Again, I didn't think that you would like this book. You're not really a crime noir-y guy.
I love crime noir.
We don't talk about it in comics much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you just behind on your...
Yeah.
Your output.
You know what?
Your input. Your output.
I am so behind on the Phillips and
Brubaker
stuff. It just it feels daunting.
There is absolutely a criminal vibe to this, but it's a little bit more playful. It's a lot more playful. I have one nitpick.
Do it.
Just
Pick
one.
that nit, bruh.
I don't think this should be in issues.
Oh, I would read it just a graphic novel.
I want this to be thicker. I want this to be a chunkier book. Now,
It doesn't
have the structural issues that
no.
most of these like books do, where it'll end like mid-sentence. It's structured. Stephanie Phillips is an excellent writer. Even though I don't love all of her stuff, she is an excellent. She's excellent with structure. Her single issue writing does not feel like it falls off a cliff or it's mid-sentence stuff. This is a fully formed book. But the central conflict is a little more than will she, won't she murder this person?
Yeah.
I think I wanted something meatier. Like with a crime book, you need to kind of reveal your cards in a certain pace. I wanted more.
Okay.
I mean, I think this will be a banger ass trade. Now I compare this to something like Pine and Mary Mac.
I was just thinking that.
Structurally, very similar. Tonally, very similar. But what kept me in issues with Pine and Mary Mac versus this might be a trade is the relationship between the couple was so incredibly charming and very funny that felt more like a comic book issue thing than just this. Like our main characters only just met, right? So I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was great. I think this is hopefully going to be a great mini, but it felt like 85% for me.
Not for me, brother.
Yeah.
Man, I was in. I think this is 100%. I love this. And talking about the relationship between the couple in Pine and Mary Mac, I love this odd couple of these two women and how they wind up. I am all in. Loved it.
Meh.
Fresh AF for me.
Fresh enough for me.
Nice.
Or pretty fresh. What the fuck is the scale?
Pretty fresh.
If you like good chunky minis, this is a good, just pick it up blind. Yeah. Speaking of chunky minis.
Scarlett, number 3, part of the Energon universe from Image Comics by Kelly Thompson and Marco Ferrari and Lee Lowridge. This is more of the same. This is, if you like Scarlett, this is more of that. I actually liked this better than the last issue.
I like this, but I have absolutely nothing new to say about it.
Yeah.
It's, if anything, I want it to move a little faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I do like that they take their time with some of the action sequences, the fight sequences. There's a nice little hallway sequence that I'm always a sucker for.
Yeah, this is very
double page splash.
This is very much an art forward book.
Yeah.
Kelly Thompson is confident enough to not like load the page with a bunch of expository dialogue or extraneous content. It's just, the book flows like water. That is never a concern.
Yeah.
I think I just want it to go faster.
Maybe this should be a graphic novel.
Maybe. I just wanted to go a little faster, in so much as we were introduced to this mission in the last 5 pages of the last issue, and it's the whole issue here, but I still don't even know what there was a couple parts in here where I don't even know what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
It's a two-pronged plan, but it wasn't cleared out. It wasn't kind of established or clear that it was a two-pronged plan at the last issue, and then it seemed like it was just hastily introduced halfway through this one, that there's another aspect to her mission that we didn't know about until right now.
Yeah, I thought that too.
This is weird in so much as the book feels slow, but at the same time it feels like it's going by way too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't put my finger on why. I still like it.
Yeah.
I think it's still fun, but there's something odd about it. Too quick, but also too slow.
A little uneven.
A little, yeah. But I love Scarlett. I love the last scene with Jinx that actually kind of brings the first 3 issues together. I'm looking forward to how they wrap this up, because it feels so very small right now.
Yeah.
But if any of the other minis
Or an indication.
are an indication it's going to ramp up.
I like that Scarlett gets hammed up in this.
Oh yeah,
she is taking a beating just to do this thing.
It tickles.
Yeah, man. She's this. I like her. I like her.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Every character in this book, I'm digging. I love the characterization of Scarlett and Jinx, and I love the stubbornness because it feels earned. It's nice. I think it's really just a pacing issue with me. It either feels like it's too fast or a little too deconstructed, too prolonged. And that might be an art thing too. Like you had some issues with the staging and some of the pacing of the art. So maybe I'm feeling that. I just can't articulate it. But I read this incredibly quickly. I enjoyed it. But then when I sat and thought about it, I kind of forgot about, like, I immediately forgot about some like elements, some pieces, went back and looked and like, oh yeah, I guess something.
I had that problem with issue 2. I remember this one. I thought was great. I really like the pacing of this particular issue.
Maybe I'm still reeling from denial of issue 2's issues.
But yeah, I really like this. But yeah, maybe it would be better as a trade. It's just it goes by too quickly.
I keep going back and forth I love comics.
Pretty fresh.
Pretty damn fresh. I love comics, but man, sometimes, and it's an arbitrary decision. Sometimes I prefer things in larger chunks versus I want a little quick fix because it's like candy.
Also, it depends on my mood.
It's straight up arbitrary. It really is. The only time that I would truly advocate for trade waiting is when it shouldn't have been a comic.
Yeah.
Basically, and I feel like Brubaker and Phillips understand that because now they only do OGNs.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, hey, we also think that our pacing is not suited for single issues. Here you go.
Criminal used to be in issues.
And it was hard to read in issues, to be completely honest with you.
Wait, what happened last time?
Yeah. And it wasn't consistent issues. Anyway, before we talk about the last 2 books, I actually want to mention
speaking of Jed MacKay.
Yeah, speaking of Jed MacKay, I want to talk about Doctor Strange number 18, Legacy 444 with art by Pasquale Ferry. And I forgot
How's the
name.
Eyebrows?
Awful.
He's still doing it?
Heather Moore is the colorist. Actually, they're awful. I hate his eyebrows. He looks like an evil magician. Not my Strange.
Hashtag.
So this marks the end of Jed MacKay's run. This is the last issue.
Oh, okay.
It's been 33 issues total. It was the death of Strange, and now Doctor Strange. It'll be an amazing omnibus. I'll tell you that much. There's a letter in the. First of all, this issue's great. It's reeling from the end of Blood Hunt. How that irrevocably changes Strange and his relationship not only with his friends and family, but also with the Marvel Universe and to magic. Yeah, big things have changed. They'll never be the same. But more so than that, this is Jed MacKay kind of putting a little fine point on his entire message or theme for this character, and it's a really good ending that doesn't actually end. It's a great off ramp for comics. That I love it when they do this, when they wrap up a run, leave everybody in kind of like a thematically concluded way. However, there's more coming later. This is perfect superhero comics. And there's a letter he writes in the back about his run. This is the third time that he's had like disjointed runs with a single character. Black Cat was like 2 ongoings that were canceled too early, and then like 3 minis, and like he just kind of kept going. Same with Doctor Strange and Moon Knight, same way. Like it was like 30 issues, then it was 10, and then a new one starting. Like
drives me nuts.
But his whole thing is that Doctor Strange was always, or to him, always seemed like the perpetual guest star.
Yeah.
And he's like, I love that for him. But what does he do when he's not guesting in other books or fixing other people's problems? What's his like daily life like? And that's what this book has been, and it's cool as shit. Like, we have a bunch of new characters from it that I think are fucking awesome. I love this book, and I think people should start picking it up. Like, it's all collected now. Get it? Yeah. It's wonderful. This is a great book.
Any idea who's taking over?
There's nothing announced right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think it's just the end of Strange for a bit. He has a history of runs, and then he leaves the board for a bit, and then runs.
Given given the end of Blood Hunt last week,
which we're not spoiling.
Nah.
Okay.
I'm kind of disappointed that we're not going to be seeing him reeling from that, like dealing with it on an ongoing basis.
I was gonna say that's a little bit what this is. Yeah. He is still very capable.
Yeah. Yeah, just not.
But I can't say that. Maybe something will come. I mean, there's nothing solicited for October about it up to October, so Doctor Strange won't be gone for long. It's just the book is taking a break,
taking a snooze.
Yeah. Consistently one of the best books at Marvel.
Awesome.
All right, like Daredevil keeps getting great. Like I haven't read any of the Solid and Ahmed stuff, but like if we're talking like since Bendis, it has been run after run after run. Same with Strange. Since Aaron, it has been run after run after run that is good as shit. Like we had Jason Aaron, Donny Cates, Mark Waid with the space magic. Such a good run. And then this with Jed McKay. It has been like 6 or 7 years of great comics.
Wow.
Like Doctor Strange is awesome.
No one's talking about it.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the eyebrows.
Probably. Venom War, number 1 of 5 from Al Ewing and Coelho. What's the first name?
Absolute Power. Absolute what? This is the event of the week.
Oh, God damn it. Iban Coelho. So I have not read Venom since the very first issue from Al Ewing that picked up directly after The King in Black.
And Ramvi.
And Ramvi. Oh, is that him?
Yeah.
And I picked up that first issue and I went, I'm good. We were talking about off-ramps.
Yeah.
That was a great off-ramp. I am good on Venom. So we picked this up, just thinking, oh, Venom War, it's an event. Let's check it out. And I was immediately confused and turned off and didn't care. There was a couple of scenes in here that I think are actually quite good, but it just cemented why I don't care about Venom right now. What did you think?
I did not dislike this as much as you. I also have stopped reading Venom. I think I read the first 2 or 3 issues of the beginning of the run, Al Ewing and Ramvi. It was everything I didn't want. In so much as with the King in Black stuff, we did the multiversal and all kinds of craziness and symbiote gods and blah, blah, blah. And this was, okay, but what about like Eddie Brock's at the end of time and at the beginning of time and in this dimension and that like they
and also Dylan Brock
they overly
at the end of time.
Yeah, they overly comics are overly complicated. It just
Trying too much.
I think it was like 10 pounds of story.
There's a lot going
10 pounds
on.
of story in a 5-pound bag.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things going on.
It became a little, and then they introduced, I don't know, roughly somewhere between like 300 and 700 new symbiotes.
Yeah. Somewhere in there.
Yeah, plus or minus 30.
Yeah. And I don't care about 99% of them.
I mean, I don't care about 99% of them, but let me give my impression of this issue, which is a lot kinder than yours. The opening sequence is very weird and kind of just drops you into this thematic event that seems silly and stupid. Actually, is silly and stupid. I did not think that was explained somewhere else. I thought that it was just a silly smash cut into media res. Here's the start. And reading it in that way, I was just like, oh, this is dumb. Okay, what's next? Because this whole event seems to be predicated on 2 warring factions of symbiotes. Because both of that... So Eddie Brock and Dylan both have seen the possible future of if Eddie gets Venom back or if Dylan gets Venom back. Eddie saw, these are not spoilers for the book, apparently this was established further on. Eddie saw that if Dylan gets Venom back, he will completely take over the whole world, in so much as like everyone will be a symbiote and it will be a Venom world. Yeah. Dylan saw his father becoming null with the power of an unlinked Venom. Yeah. So like I think that's a great concept, in so much as impossible force, unstoppable being. This is cool. But the way that they decide to kind of enter into that conversation is through wrestling parlance. Ugh. Which is not a language you have at all. I watched it when I was a teenager. So when they introduced that right away, I was like, all right, let's go. This is a New World Order versus the Corporation. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Like, it had a vibe to it that I did appreciate. If this had started with Meridius at the end of time warned us of blood, like that kind of like over the top, highfalutin shit, I don't think I would have fun with this at all.
Okay.
What I did also appreciate was right after that weird as hell opening, we basically got a complete retelling of everything that's happened from the perspective of Venom.
Yeah.
And I loved that sequence.
Mm-hmm.
I loved all of that sequence.
That was good.
And then I would argue, too, that the central character in this entire thing is Venom.
Yeah.
The untethered Venom from any... Because he is the only symbiote with a... untethered from the consciousness. What are we talking? Yeah, like he's the only one with his own autonomy.
The consciousness of the symbiotes.
And you have his. I think it's a really fun thing to play with his trauma, with his experience, and his newfound kind of understanding of guilt and purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And who better to do that with him than Peter Parker?
Yeah.
I completely understand and agree with you with. I don't necessarily think I care about this.
Yeah.
But there were some really good high points and sequences in here that at least interest me to kind of keep touching in.
Okay.
Like, so I think
Glad
it's
to hear it.
fresh enough
for
me. I'm
What's
not
less than fresh enough? Barely fresh.
Barely fresh.
It's barely fresh.
Yeah. I mean, do we have a bottom tier? Did we ever establish that? We don't talk about shit that we hate. It's
stale.
Just stale?
This was stale for me.
Ooh.
Stale. I don't care. I'm not going to bother with it. However, I do agree.
Even with sad face Venom?
That was cute. That was cute. The rest of it I don't care about.
That whole sequence doesn't make it just barely fresh as opposed to completely stale. Like you could like if it's bread, you could at least toast it and eat it because that's fine.
Anything
but
that
stale,
is not
like
the scene
rock,
between,
can't eat it.
Anything between Peter and the symbiote, great. Anything that's not that scene, stale.
There's a whole sequence in here with Dylan kind of talking to Dylan, and that whole sequence is why I didn't enjoy the Venom book, because it was I spoke to a god who gave me 5 wishes, and I asked him, and it was from the beginning of time, and it immediately pulled me out of the coolness that was like right before it. So like I do think that this book is not for me, but this just jumped in issue. I honestly didn't mind it. I also love Iban Coelho's art. I really do. Like,
he's great.
He is a student of the school of Ryan Stegman. And it works so fucking well with this book.
And he draws a couple of panels that we know from like the first appearance of Venom, like by Todd McFarlane, stuff like that. Yeah, the book looks great.
It is a beautiful book. If you're a fan of Venom, go for it. This is wonderful. Like even if you haven't been reading the arc, I do think that this book does a really, really good job of not requiring you have read the last 30 issues.
That's true.
It is a very good starting off point. It's just your mileage may vary with how stupid it gets.
Yeah. Not for me.
Because it gets stupid.
What's your fresh enough?
I think it's fresh enough.
Okay.
That's the books that we're going to review today, but what are you excited about this week?
Well, I'll tell you, I was excited about Birds of Prey Volume 1 Megadeth by Kelly Thompson and Leonardo Romero and Jordi Belair.
But now you're not.
But now I'm not, because I already read it, and it was awesome.
Yep.
I am no longer looking forward to it because it's done. This first 6 issues is awesome. I am excited to jump on.
I was going to say you have to read 7
7,
through
8,
12.
9, 10, 11, 12.
12 comes out this week.
God damn, this book is great. We read the first issue, we both loved it, and then I just got busy and but luckily this dropped. And if you like Birds of Prey, if you like female superheroes, if you like superheroes,
I was gonna say like
this shit's dope.
I wouldn't even qualify
Yeah.
it. Like this is just a really, really strong book.
It's
funny. The action is great. It's such a good book. And
yeah,
the artist,
Black Canary, Big Barda, Zealot.
Yeah.
From Wildstorm.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn and Little Bat.
It is. I think my favorite description of this first arc, especially, it's basically a heist film, and they have to break into Themyscira.
Yeah.
And it's so funny and so cool.
It's so good. Yeah, man, I love this book.
And then the end of it just kind of expands to, oh, that's where the book's going. The subsequent arcs have been by different artists. And I really do miss Leonardo.
Well, there was a fill-in this one.
Yes, there's an issue. There's a fill-in issue from the perspective of a different character that is a different artist.
Yeah, I don't know who this is.
I
looks
forget.
like what's his nuts who was doing Green Arrow for a little while.
Izexi.
No. Before that.
I don't know.
Oh, this is
Otto
Arist
Schmidt?
Dayan.
You're talking about Otto Schmidt.
I'm thinking about Otto Schmidt.
Yeah.
It's very Otto Schmitty.
Yeah.
Arist Dayan is the other one. Anyway, yeah, man. Birds of Prey Volume 1, Megadeth. Pick it up. It's great.
I am very, very happy that DC is coming out with their trade paperbacks for the. Are we not in Dawn of DC anymore? What era?
It's still,
what
it says Dawn of
initiative?
DC.
Oh, there we go.
It's up there on the top.
A lot of these trades, like trade number 1 of this, pick it up. Anybody should and could read it. Same with Wonder Woman Outlaw. First trades out. Everybody could and should read it. Yeah.
I will say this one's more fun than Wonder Woman. This is more of a blast.
Sure.
Yeah. But so at the end of is there a different team on moving forward? Did they change the team up?
Some of the members switch on and off.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think we added Vixen and Barbara and
Nice.
someone else. And the book just keeps expanding. It's very weird. Honestly, the most current, I don't think it's a spoiler because it's been out for a while. The most current arc, the birds are stuck in a pocket dimension and they keep sliding into different versions of things.
I'm in.
It's really fun.
I like sliders.
Yeah. And it's
Also
the concept of it too is whoever falls through the gate first, their consciousness dictates the kind of world that they're going to be in.
Yeah.
So you get to see like a
Can't
bunch
wait to
of
see
different.
Harley's.
Yeah,
I'm sure that'll be fun.
this is a really fun book. Kelly Thompson's crushing it, and I can't wait for her to take over all of comics.
She is now. Her and Jed McKay are like the two, not new, but new to me voices that anytime I see their name, I start to go, all right, I'm gonna check it out.
So are you gonna read Powerpuff Girls #1?
Oh, did she? Kelly Thompson?
Did
you read it?
No, it's not out yet, but it's out.
I thought it was. I thought I got it in. Maybe it was a different Powerpuff Girls. I got a Powerpuff Girls. Is that
Kelly Thompson?
There it is.
It's here on the show.
Read it now and tell us if it's good.
All right, Dead Air. Dead Air.
What are you looking forward to this week?
I am looking forward to the Power Fantasy.
Oh, well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, it didn't come in time.
We didn't get our copies for some reason.
Hopefully they'll be here soon. But that is the new book by Kieran Gillen with art by Casper Wingard.
Yeah.
Wingard.
Yep.
Both creators I really, really love. Now, I am not a Wick Div stan.
No.
I didn't finish it, honestly. I
the
have
first
it all.
one.
Someday I'll go back. But for a long time, I did not like Kieran Gillen.
Mm-hmm.
His storytelling style is fuck you if you understand what's going on, I'm in.
Yeah.
But it just started clicking with me, and I'm really looking forward to his new creator-owned series.
Yeah.
And I appreciate his career trajectory, too. Like, he'll do a 60-issue creator-owned crazy weird thing, and then he'll go do the X-Men for a couple years.
Yeah.
And then he'll do like,
Yep.
but he never really changes his style.
Yeah.
Like he's a.
I like him.
I'll always sample his shit.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. And then tonight on the live stream, we're going to be talking about
Trap.
M. Night Shyamalan. And then also, the other thing I'm excited about is I want to watch Caped Crusader on Prime.
Oh yeah, Batman
Prime
Caped Crusader.
Video.
Hey
I
man.
thought it would be on Max, the one to watch for HBO.
They're licensing all their stuff because
guess
they have
so.
no money. What are you talking about?
So I'm going to check that out.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are upset because the Penguin's a girl.
I don't give a shit.
All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later.
Do.
People talking about themselves, whatever it is that you always talk about.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.